We genuinely are trying to figure out how we can go back in time. Our kids say it all the time. It would be so nice to have grown up when you guys did because it was so much easier and simpler. And it was because we didn't have a phone.
Welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. I'm Farley Boyle, girl mom.
And I'm Jennifer Brenius, boy mom.
Together, we're Team Boyle-Renius. Each other's ride
or die. This is where grit gets real. We don't just talk, we do it.
We're here for the messy stories, the hard-fought lessons, and the courage it takes to keep showing up.
Especially when it's uncomfortable. We bring gratitude and attitude to everything we do.
We jump in head first, unafraid, and are all in all the time.
We bring it on and get it on, diving into unscripted conversations on just about everything.
We don't just talk grit, we live it.
We put the it in grit.
So let's get gritty.
Hi, and welcome to Girls Gone Gritty. We are bringing it on in Bring It On Studios today, and I am next to my golden co-host,
Very
Jen
golden.
Brenius, whose birthday we just celebrated. We went into the city and we saw The Outsiders, and it was spectacular, which is why we are in our Stay Gold sweatshirts today. Stay Gold is going to be very relevant with regards to our topic today. Now, there's no boundaries and loss of innocence and a lot of things that we're going to get to.
Gold has so many nuanced things about it in this performance. What an amazing cast. But let's talk about this for a second, because I've read the book when I was a kid, and there was a bunch of kids in this theater, which was awesome. And their reactions when Soda Pop took off his shirt, which is Rob Lowe's character in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
The whole place did a collective gasp,
Oh.
which was so funny. Witness.
And it was real. Foul language appropriately used by the greasers.
Mhm.
You've got the jocks and the Richie Rich crew. And then you've got kids that weren't blessed with a silver spoon in their mouth.
Grew up
And
on the
it's-
wrong side of the tracks proverbially.
and would have been just as gifted as the Soch group because they had parents, money, and everything went right for them. You have one of the main characters who would have been Patrick Swayze in the actual Outsiders. They lost their parents, and he had to suddenly become the grown-up out of three boys and be the big brother, but also the breadwinner and the gatekeeper. And he was off to play a sport in college and do it all. And
Yeah.
all of his friends were in that Soch group, and how quick they forget that times changed because of circumstances that were out of their control, and it changed the fate of everybody.
Yeah, it changed the fate of the family. And for those of you who haven't seen it or would like to see it, the thing I like when you have a different lens from the book to the movie and to the Broadway show, they actually spent more time on the brothers. It was more from the lens of what it did to the family dynamic, and it dug a little bit deeper into that. And the movie was more from the lens of Johnny when he was hospitalized and went through that tragedy. I love that you can see something a new way, even when you know the story.
It's
It
like
was
the
really, really cool.
adaptation was great. It was like Wicked and The Wizard of Oz, you
Yeah.
know, the prequel to that.
prequel.
I thought that was so fascinating. And I like the fact that there were so many perspectives going on during The Outsiders that we got to see it from a different perspective.
And to recognize there was one main female character, and her name is Cherry. Let's talk about that just for a second. It was a light bulb moment that I had never put together before.
True.
Name of the main female character who is like perfection to everyone.
She had red hair, hence the reference. There's other things that were being referenced there as well.
I think so.
That's when a lot of laughing was happening in the crowd because there were school buses filled with kids there.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a rite of passage. It's a mandatory read. I feel like it was in 7th grade, and my oldest daughter formed like a group, and they gave each other nicknames, and it became a thing, and it's generational. It doesn't ever get old. It's Romeo and Juliet.
Yes.
It's
Tale
just
as old as time. It
It's-
really
it
truly
is.
is a tale as old as time. Haves and the have-nots, and the similarities that we all have as with family. In the show, they talked about how Cherry's family wasn't perfect, even though it seemed perfect. Like they did some nice,
Yes.
interesting things to make it feel more real in the differences that.
Yeah, she
don't
was
set
like,
us
"Oh, I bet
apart.
you look at me and think I have it all." And she's like, "I have just as many problems, only different."
Yeah, and we all have problems, but we have to understand one another.
Friendship is what we're going to be discussing today, and boundaries and relationships. And
The theme is going to be
the theme is
gold.
stay gold, because that's where innocence is still a factor, and you're open in your heart and raw
Yeah.
and not wearing the burden of the world all the time. You're looking for the goodness and the gold.
Yeah. Well, before we get to all that goodness and gold, we're going to go to our top 3. And number 3 is not gold. Foot fetish, OnlyFans, fake fraud and phony money abounds.
This is upsetting. I understand that OnlyFans, it's what you're comfortable doing. You create your own account and
Paid for anything.
It's up to you. There's a lot of weirdos out there willing to pay to watch you do, even pick your nose. I mean, somebody might pay for it and eat your booger. I'm just saying, this is a freaky weirdo.
Please don't.
I read a story about an Olympic athlete, and I think that there might be several that could not pay for their training. It was a struggle bus, and they went on to OnlyFans and created themselves a page. And one girl, I think she was a bobsledder, and they wanted to see her in her sweaty uniform after she practiced. And she would send photos of butt crack sweat. Who knows, whatever it was, but she made enough money to train and go to the Olympics. So a lot of people are finding ways to supplement their income with some weirdo fetishes. And it came to my attention recently that the foot fetish is a big benign way to go because you don't have to show yourself, right? So you're not showing your face, you're just showing your feet, and you feel like there's not a trail leading back to you. But we're scared that there are because the money's going into your account. They're zelling. I don't know. They're smarter than us.
And what they do initially is they create a relationship and form a little bit of trust, and they'll dump
wire you the
in
money
account.
first. I'm going to give you $3,000 up front so that you can see I'm honest. And I know somebody that this happened to. They got the $3,000 deposit, but they were smart because they recognized that this is the hook and grab. And some people think, oh my gosh, I've got it. I'm going to go buy whatever. And the bank comes backwards and says that was a fraudulent check. Now you're responsible for the original deposit.
Which again, not to belabor this conversation too much, but think about the fact that people can reach and grab into your account. They can take in and take out. It goes back to the initial buyer beware. If it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. So
and
that totally is. So watch out, OnlyFans. I'm not a fan. Number 2, Ring camera surveillance state. Sadly, it hasn't helped the Guthries.
This Guthrie situation is beyond. It's so sad. It has been so botched with so many cooks in the kitchen, too many people in the house, evidence gone south because of cross-contamination and people and fingerprints. What the hell? And thank God that there was a Ring camera, but she didn't even have a subscription. Think about that. They can go back in and retrieve things that you don't even think are being recorded.
Correct. It's a double-edged sword, right? The more surveillance and security you want, the more you're going to give up your rights of privacy. And the rings or cameras that have been put up willingly by individuals to protect their front door. But the interesting thing about the Guthrie situation is that the police can go in and take anybody's Ring camera and you don't have to sign off on it. There is no Fourth Amendment right to privacy.
Don't you remember the wackos were coming into kids' rooms because they had a baby camera or they had some type of a camera and people were able to watch from the outside in, which is even more terrifying.
Yeah. Wow.
But back to the whole Guthrie situation. It's been mismanaged. There's an active vigil going on outside of her property with flowers, letters, and all kinds of things. And they're kind of waiting for the suspect, who's still at large, to potentially revisit the crime scene, as many do, not just in, the movies. It's real. You've got this poor family turned completely upside down.
The sad stat is that 2,300 people go missing a day. When you look at the enormity of the impact of somebody being vacuumed out of your life, I don't think it's easy to recover. It's not easy to recover when you lose somebody in any manner, but these unnatural, nefarious ways are devastating. So we'll continue to pray for anybody who's gone missing, especially the Guthrie family.
I don't even know how you continue.
I don't think you do.
And this is not the way you continue with
number one.
Number one.
You definitely don't continue, but you do. AI never dies and gives best advice. Meta wants to keep your Insta, Facebook account alive even after you don't survive this life.
I have so many problems with this. There is a grief bot that has been produced and it can take on the likeness of your loved one.
Yep.
And if you spend enough time talking to it, it can replicate you and it can become your mother who just passed away and her likeness with her voice continuing to talk to you daily and give you messages. And a lot of people are going in this direction. Even though psychology teams and psychiatrists have said that it is not a normal way to help the grieving process.
And we're not meant to live forever. Humans are beautiful because of their imperfections and their limits on life. And I get very concerned, and AI is infiltrating everything.
It is.
And it's taking over silently. And I know a lot of my relatives want this to speak to their relatives. And I understand the loss of somebody who's larger than life, but that doesn't mean that they should be replicated by a digital universe and live on forever.
One of the problems is 72% of American teenagers have formed a relationship with an AI companion. So the generations below us are already very comfortable speaking to this AI bot daily because it's easy. It doesn't give them grief, doesn't talk back to them, agrees with them, tells them what they want to hear, and is always available and can turn them off when they don't feel like listening. So they're the perfect companion for a lot of people, which sucks and is terrifying. And if they're used to this type of daily interaction, imagine a hologram of a parent or a loved one. It's like old school Disney going into
the future module where it showed you Tomorrowland.
No, it was Space Mountain. On your way into Space Mountain, it was projecting all of this kind of technology, and it would be a hologram of somebody talking and giving directions, and it was your family member.
The Jetsons.
It's Star Trek.
It's the Jetsons.
All of it.
But they're also very smart because everybody invited Siri into their house without question. Ask Siri to play a song. Ask Siri what the weather is. That's AI, guys.
Yeah.
It's not just these bots that people are like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's the little AI that's in everything we do.
And there's sex tech experts now. Literally, somebody had to become an expert on sex technology. I've never even heard of that. Brian Kolb is a sex tech expert. Who knew that was even a career?
Yeah. And this is going to lead us into our episode today because we're talking about the way that technology has infiltrated and changed relationships. And when we watched our show yesterday, everybody has to turn their phone off for 2.5 hours and unplug. They don't want you to take a picture. They also don't want to disrupt the person next to you who's trying to enjoy the show. But these devices are everywhere.
No boundaries.
Changed.
We have zero boundaries.
And we're watching this show that's set in the late 60s. And that wasn't even a thought as to how to communicate or build relationships. It was face-to-face, in person. Yeah. And that is where we're going to start today.
Where we grew up, I would leave school and tell a friend, okay, I'm going to call you after practice at 4:45 so we can figure out what we're going to do this weekend. Or you made a plan before you left each other because it was hard to connect. It was before emails. It was really scheduling a very specific time that you were going to call somebody so that they would be by the phone, because you didn't just sit by the phone.
Right.
You were aware that you were supposed to receive a call at a certain time. The problem with devices now, there's GPS tracking, Life 360, Snap Map. You can see where people are at all times, which is a problem.
Yeah. Or you can just share your location on your iPhone.
Or you don't even realize that you're sharing your location, and you are. And now weirdos are aware of your schedule.
Well, wait, time out.
When you come and go.
Everybody knows where you are all the time, just so we're clear. If we're going back to like the surveillance state, they actually have a time code marker. They can track every movement with your phone because your phone is pinging all these towers.
Yeah.
You are constantly being surveilled. So that is now known that we all have to accept.
True.
And to the ability of our kids and ourselves to use the technology and manage relationships with it is the inherent change that we are living in. And it's become a challenge.
Well, everything is instant gratification.
1000%.
It's not even out of sight, out of mind. Hey, I didn't talk to you for 2 days and I'm looking forward to having a conversation with you because now I'm texting you all day long and talking to you whenever I feel like it with a text. I know a lot of people that just text and barely pick up the phone and have real conversations with people anymore. I don't even know that a lot of people leave voice messages. I still leave a voice message. If I can't get you, I'm not going to text the 900 words that I want to say, and I'll still leave a voice message. But I think that's becoming obsolete.
Yes.
It takes too much time.
Yes.
Or why didn't you just text what you needed to say?
Right.
It's sad. And that's the problem is you don't look forward to that connection anymore of looking forward to having a conversation with somebody, looking forward to seeing them, because we're all in each other's world 24/7. You're in group chats, you're chatting with your boyfriend. Your boyfriend can say, hey, where are you right now? It looks like you're at the grocery store. Can you pick me up a sub? I mean, you can't escape. My kids use it. It backfires on me. When I thought I was watching them, they were like, oh, mom and dad are coming home. Let's hurry up and clean up the basement, because they didn't know I was having a gig. There are so many ways to surveil and to be in connection with whoever it is that you may or may not want to be. Work knows that they can get through.
There are no boundaries with work
after
anymore,
hours. There's no after hours.
There's no, it's unfortunate. And the other unfortunate thing that we're living in, and if you feel anxiety about this, welcome to the club, because it's really challenging. It's
pressure, a lot of pressure.
When you're with a group of people, but can always be accessed and sucked out of your moment when somebody needs you.
Right.
Which is unfair to both of you, because sometimes you aren't meant to be sucked out of your good or bad place. We need to sit sometimes in sadness alone.
Then you factor in menopause, and we were having a great conversation and my phone bleeps and I come back and we can't even remember what the hell we were just talking about.
Right. And that's the other part. It's affecting our attention level, because it's everything short form video. And we've said a million times on the show, we don't have to remember anything anymore, because we'll just look it up, because it's right here.
Right there.
It's right here on my phone. But it's also like another person sitting next to you. Like, you have another relationship with your phone, because you're sitting there, and if somebody else bings my phone, text message, now I'm responding back to them because they saw I read it, or they know what I'm doing. It's actually breaking down barriers of having real connections with the people you're with. Because it used to be, I'd be on a trip or with people and I was unreachable.
Yes.
And if somebody needed you, they could find you.
How about my parents would be like, okay, dinner time is at 6 o'clock. We will not be taking any phone calls at 6 o'clock. We would sit down as a family and have dinner. And if the phone rang, I was not allowed to answer it, not even for a second. And I would tell people we're eating dinner at 6, so call sometime after 7.
Right.
Because it wasn't allowed.
You didn't call. You didn't call during dinner time
ever.
It was like 5 to 7.
Right.
When you knew the family, that was kind of, it was a sacred space, and those sacred spaces have been eroded. And that's really what we're trying to figure out here. I know my kids are in relationships, and they are challenged sometimes because we're all at a different place, right? I could be in a really great place, enjoying myself in the moment, and all of a sudden I get a phone call from someone who needs me.
Or might be having a bad day.
And now I feel the responsibility.
You're taking on that energy
to fix it.
Yes.
And that's challenged because it's unfair to both sides. I couldn't imagine if I had a phone on me 24/7 when I was growing up or dating.
We're so accessible.
It's crazy.
You can be pinged in 1 second and you're accessible. You're at everybody's fingertips.
Yeah.
And that is what's not fair, because to be present, you have to turn the device off.
Yes.
It has to be out of sight, out of mind. You can't see it. You can't hear it. You can't see it light up your purse because you know you're missing something. And then you have weirdo FOMO, or shoot, are my kids okay? Does my husband need
There's
me?
always a reason.
And we
there's always a
all
reason.
survived before this. It's amazing how well we turned out without our parents being able to track every single move, without us having to communicate our every move to every person that's in our life. You look at all the social media stigmas of people not feeling like they're a part of something and not getting the invitation or not being included. That all became so visual because of this device. You can't escape it.
Yeah.
And
trying to set some boundaries is the challenge, because I'm trying to get the phone out of my bedroom.
It's not just our kids.
But now
it's
my
us.
kid's in Japan.
Right.
And again, there's always a reason. There's always a justification.
I've got a kid in Australia, and we are equally having major problems because what we're choosing to do with Girls Gone Gritty puts us with technology and a device in our hands all the time, because we're trying to create fans by Instagram posts and Facebook and TikTok. And we're getting sucked into utilizing all these toxic, poisonous things because it's how we're going to grow our brand. So we're conflicted daily.
And it's also an acknowledgement of this is the universe we're in. Like,
and we don't want to be asleep and get lost in the shuffle and have life just go speeding by. And now we're over here. You have to keep up with the times. You don't have to get mowed over by the times.
Again, it's taken over so quickly, right? It's something that we've not been educated on how to handle it. You know, when you give somebody a car or you teach somebody how to cook on the stove, you go through the motions. We hand all of us these phones. There is no manual on how to operate it. There's no code of conduct. It's free and open. And, you know, back to what we said about the OnlyFans page, it is a wild, wild west when you start to open up these apps and these tech platforms that allow you to do anything that you want at any time of the day.
Now you've got this phone that's also a camera, that's also a video recorder, that is just everything.
And it's a listening device.
It's a listening device.
because as we're talking about Stay Gold, the first thing when I pull up my phone is Stay Gold, not the song by Stevie Wonder, not the movie. It's the show OnlyFans. The show we just saw.
Yeah.
Like, it knows what I did.
Right.
My phone knows. I feel badly for the kids when you tried to get somebody and they didn't answer you, but you just saw that they posted something, or you saw that they read your text, but they didn't answer, they didn't respond back. So now you vacillate in your head and you don't know what that person's doing. They might be like trying to quickly shoot a text off or look at it, but they might be in a meeting. We don't have any of that allowance that we give people, any credence to say, actually, what I'm doing right now is really important. I'm having a conversation with one of my best friends. I know you see, I read the text and I posted a video 5 minutes ago, but the conversation just changed. You didn't know that because you weren't here.
And I don't like where it says read, where sometimes you don't even know that is on. So when you look at a text, it will say after you've looked at it, read. And sometimes I'll be like, oh, well, you just read it. Why didn't you? So it's make sure you turn that off.
It makes you mental.
I don't know why that's on.
It makes you mental.
It does. And sometimes you're right. I am driving, or at that moment, I don't feel like responding because I'm trying to be present. But then you feel like you have to constantly come up with excuses and justifications on why you didn't communicate or why you didn't call back or why didn't you tell me you were going there? And it's all this nonsense because we know too much. Yes. And we are in this boundaryless vortex and we're all apes to our phones and we can't escape it because we need them. We don't have a solution except for going back to the way that we were raised and recognizing that if you stay present and you're in the moment, like we were yesterday during this show, it felt so good to get out of our head. It felt so good not to have this device trying to magnetize me over to it. Right. I was free in my brain. I was absorbing the art that I was watching. I was captivated by it. I was listening to every word that came out of the actors' mouths. I was interpreting the music at the same time with all the visuals that were so creative. And it was wonderful to not be pulled away by this freaking crazy magnet.
I think that setting those boundaries and time for yourself to say, listen, I'm not available. I'm going to turn my phone off. Or I'm going to take a digital detox. The Sephardic Jewish community, their phones are not allowed, no technology for Friday night into Saturday. Almost as what we used to do with church on Sunday, and there would be no sports scheduled. And that eroded. It used to be you couldn't have sports after Sunday. But my point of that is that we need to take back some of that. I would love to do a digital detox and say, I'm not going to be on my phone all day on Sunday because my brain needs a break. However, the problem is this is the way you schedule your fun on Sunday. And if I'm not available for the opportunity spontaneously, that's the fear and FOMO.
And I might actually have to use Waze to get to where I'm going to have my fun on Sunday.
You definitely do.
Or I might go to a restaurant. I might have to like scan the QR code so that I can order. They just have forced it into our hands.
Phone because I don't remember your phone number because I just click it.
And I need my phone because on the back of it is my case with all of my credit cards.
Oh, well, my credit cards are just in my phone. So
listen, we're a disaster over here. So don't listen to us, but please do listen to us because we genuinely are trying to figure out how we can go back in time. Our kids say it all the time. It would be so nice to have grown up when you guys did because it was so much easier and simpler. And it was because we didn't have a phone.
I'm trying to talk to my people and acknowledge the fact that this universe that they're in with their friends, with their coworkers is a new place to be. Everybody's still trying to figure out, should I text my coworker at 10 o'clock at night to get something done for the morning? Is that appropriate? As soon as you start to think about those things a little bit more intentionally, then we can start to take back some of these boundaries. Yeah, can wait till tomorrow morning. I don't have to suck this person out of their evening with their family.
That takes personal discipline.
Correct.
And it's up to each person to have some common sense when they're reaching out and communicating with somebody.
And have a discussion about it. That's where we always come back to.
Very hard.
Communicate what your expectations are and try and come to an understanding of what I expect as a mother and a son, daughter, spouse.
When I want to hear back from one of my kids, I want to hear back from them right away. It's not like, hey, I'm floating out a text to Mackenzie in Australia, and then she doesn't hit me for 24 hours. Now I'm worried because we're so reliant on being able to communicate and get in touch with somebody in a moment's notice. It's a double-edged sword.
It is.
It's convenient, which is why we gravitate to it. We can use it for so many different vehicles. You know, you can search, use it to pay, you can video, tape record, you can use it as a mirror, you can measure every line in your house. There's so many tools with the apps. It's out of control. I'm exhausted just from thinking about it. I don't want it near me. I want to go to an island and be surrounded by water. And I don't want any technology on the island. I want a really good book. I want friends, people I enjoy, and I just dumb it down and simplify.
I couldn't agree more. I have friends that will not allow their child to be put on the internet. No photos of their kid on social media for fear of them stealing their identity when they're young.
Wow.
And that is part of, again, what we're getting to a place of understanding where I have a friend who has a grandchild, and they were so excited to post a picture of the grandchild and was mortified when they said, you have to take that down. I don't want your grandchild on social media because they could steal their identity.
It's so terrifying. I see these younger moms that post first day of school, 2 weeks old, laying in the bassinet with a little sign, and they're basically putting a whole timeline of this child, this kid's life thus far. But think about it. If I'm consuming that now, you've got a well-documented trail that can lead you right to the human being. And you know exactly what they look like in all stages and phases from birth up to where they're going to school and what they're eating for breakfast in the morning. It's just too much.
And you hope that the people that doesn't want their kid on social media understand, appreciate, acknowledge that you set those boundaries. And then there's somebody else who wants every single picture on social media. And that
defines them. And
that's your decision. As long as that's your decision and you're understanding the benefits and the risks, like everything, I think that's completely fine. I was traveling with my husband. We were just in Telluride, Colorado, and he kept wanting to take pictures of the mountains and the valleys. And I said to him, like, first of all, what do we do with all these tens of thousands of pictures that are on our phone? And second of all, it doesn't do it justice anyway. Let's just enjoy it. Let's step out and smell the air and feel the ground beneath our feet and look up at this vastness.
Not everything is a photo op.
It doesn't have to be. And not everything is an Instagrammable moment. And you don't have to be available for everybody 24/7.
And don't go places specifically for the Instagrammable moment. I never realized that was a thing until I was in the south of France with Mackenzie. And she kept saying, oh, I saw this spot on somebody's Pinterest. I want to go here. And it was the perfect visual of all the beautiful houses that are pink, pastels, yellows. It was the optimal photo spot. And when I got there, I saw 25 people marching to that exact spot. And we got sucked in and we did it.
Of course you did.
And I didn't even realize it. And then I was excited because then we went to the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and I'm like holding the Leaning Tower of Pisa up. I've got the Leaning Tower of Pisa in my ice cream cone base as the ice cream. And I fell prey to it and enjoyed it. But now I recognize, my God, I'm 54 years old.
Okay.
I'm not consumed by this 24/7. It was fun for the moment, but this is what people do. They get their backpacks on and they're going from spot to spot to spot for that photo because they got to check that box and be doing what their peers are doing.
Again, it comes back to our FOMO episode we did. And keeping up with the Joneses and everything else technology forces us into. So we want to be mindful and stay aware and try and maintain some innocence with what you share and don't share. Keep some things in your relationship just between the people you love, and stay gold. Staying gold is what we all want to do.
The age of the innocence. That brings us to a fantastic Got Grit Award winner today. And it is very close to the fold. It is a family members organization called Red Sneakers for Oakley. And this is a tragic situation spawned from a death, but they are giving back and saving lives every day. Oakley Debs My husband's first cousin's son, unfortunately, had an allergic reaction. He went into anaphylactic shock. It was Thanksgiving. It was a huge family moment. They were all together in Maine, having a wonderful time being together, playing sports, trampolining. Everybody brings something to the table so that the kitchen is chock full of goodies. And unfortunately, he ate something that had a nut paste or a nut
extract.
Because he was starving and saw the delicious coffee cake. Oakley had a terrible asthmatic reaction a week before Thanksgiving. That put him in the hospital. And when you have asthma, it almost opens you to become more susceptible to other things. It's like a conduit for other disasters. Oakley never needed an EpiPen in his whole life. In fact, they were hoping that he was outgrowing some of his allergies. And when they were in Maine and he ingested this, coffee cake that had a nut byproduct in it, he recognized that something was wrong. He could tell that he had eaten something. I don't feel right. Things are starting to happen that he could recognize. And they gave him Benadryl. And Benadryl kind of masked what was going on. It stopped it in its tracks. And the reaction was still going on internally. And when he went to sleep, he felt better because the Benadryl made him able to breathe better. He did vomit at one point. So his mother thought that whatever is bothering him, he got it out of his system. He's much calmer. He feels better. And he went to bed. And that's when havoc was taking place in his body. He woke up and it was a tumultuous situation where he was vomiting profusely. His breathing became a problem. It took 15 minutes to get EMTs to the house. No one had EpiPens. It was just a situation that became the worst case scenario. He was a twin. And my husband's first cousin is Bobby Debs and his wife is Meryl Debs. And they started Red Sneakers for Oakley so that they could create awareness for food allergies by educating and empowering people with their story and how you can be prepared in a situation and you can avert tragedy by being educated. And the way that the name of the organization came to be, we had a medium, a family friend. I think Oakley must have come to her on some level because when she was doing what she does, she saw this boy that was happily running around heaven in a pair of red sneakers. And she told his parents that he was happy and in a good place and in heaven wearing his favorite sneakers. And no one told her that he loved red sneakers. And that was what allowed Bobby and Meryl to make the decision to not continue life support. The craziest decision you'll ever make in your entire life. They have given back ever since, and this organization has saved countless lives, and they're doing fun community events, and people are wearing their red sneakers and posting on Instagram and tagging Red Sneakers for Oakley. So in this situation, we are on board with taking pictures and raising awareness for an incredible cause.
Amazing. So we can check them out on Instagram, and they have a Facebook page as well as
they have everything. Just yes, and be a part of it. And if you know somebody that has any family members with any type of allergies, pass this incredible organization their way and help it continue to tip, because knowledge is power and it can save lives.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And that is going to take us to our song of the day. Seize upon the moment long ago, one breath away, and there you'll be, so young and carefree. Again, you will see that time and place so gold. Steal away into that way back when you thought that all would last forever. But like the weather, nothing can ever, and in time, stay gold.
Love it. Stevie, baby.
And it's funny, as I said, when I had my phone, it's pulling up everything related to Stay Gold and the show. And that lyric I had to search up in different ways because I couldn't find it because it kept giving me the lyrics for the Outsiders.
Wow.
So,
Stevie Wonder.
The
original Stay Gold. Help your kids. Help people that still have innocence in their lives stay present for goodness and plug in and unplug. That's what they need to do, is plug in and be present and unplug their devices so that they can stay gold.
And try your best in recognizing that nothing is perfect, and be more aware and have that presence of mind so that you can think about how you were as a kid and give some of that childlike nature back to your kids so they can get back outside and play.
And listen, our kids are going to have kids. So if we groom our kids now, they can make a different impact and footprint on their kids. It's got to start somewhere. Start right now with what you can do inside of you and your house. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out. Thursday.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Girls Gone Gritty.
Visit us on Instagram, Facebook, and now TikTok.
If this episode hits home, share it with someone who needs to get gritty.
Own it and put the it in grit.
See you next episode.